Good morning. Today we will start our grammar lessons for first secondary, second term. We will start by past tenses. We have this term past simple, past progressive, past perfect simple, and past perfect progressive. In this video we are going to listen to past simple and past progressive. Slide number 2. Of course, as you can remember, we use the second form of the verb for the past simple. She ate an apple, he cleaned the room, and as for the question form, did he work, did she sleep? So remember that whenever we put did, we use the infinitive form. Did with all pronouns. Did he, did they, did she, as long as we are using the past simple. They didn't work, it didn't sleep, so this is the negative form. But when can we use the past simple? Slide number 3. Of course, we use past simple to describe a complete action in the past, something that happened in the past and finished in the past. The time is usually mentioned or implied. For example, I bought a new mobile phone yesterday. Number 2, to describe completed actions that happened one after the other in the past, without time. So I came, then I sat. He came and he turned on the light. So I walked up to the hill, paid, and then left the shop. So we have successive actions. We can use past simple. Then number 3, to describe past habits, something I did in the past as a habit, or repeated actions in the past, often used with adverbs of frequency like always, sometimes, usually. So remember that we can use usually, always, sometimes, often in the past. When I was younger, I often went jogging in the park. So we can use often in the past. So again, we use the past simple for actions happened and completed in the past, or actions that happened one after the other, or with adverbs of frequency that are indicating a habit. Then slide number 4. We are still continuing the past simple usages to describe permanent situations in the past. Jack lived with his grandparents when he was young. So Jack lived, so this was a permanent situation. Permanent means that it took a very long time without change. Then to describe an action in the past that interrupted by a longer, or that interrupted a longer action in progress. So there was an action happening, a long action that was in progress, then another one interrupted the long action. I was sleeping when the phone rang. So the longer action here is I was sleeping, and it was stopped, interfered by the ringing of the phone. So if we have two actions, the long action is used, or we can use the past progressive for actions that took a long time, but the short actions that interrupted them, we use past simple. Then slide number 5. Now we will move to the past progressive. As you know, past progressive is formed by was or were plus verb plus ing. I was, he was, she was, and it was. But for you, we, and they, we use were plus verb plus ing. The past progressive is used to describe an action in progress at a certain point of time in the past. So if we mention the exact point of time, we are using the past progressive. What were you doing at 10 o'clock last night? So here we are specifying, mentioning, pointing to a certain point of time at 10 o'clock. But if we removed at 10 o'clock from the sentence, it should be past simple. So the main difference between past simple and past progressive is the mentioning of the exact time or at the exact point of time. Another example, I was having a shower. So here again, this is a long action. Also, we can use the past progressive to describe actions that were happening at the same time in the past, usually with while or as. So if we have two long actions without interfering, without stopping, we are going to use both of them in the past progressive. So while Lynn was cooking, Joan was sleeping. So two actions happening at the same time without interruption, without interfering from any of them, we use past progressive. Then slide number 6, we can also use past progressive to describe background scenes to a story. If we are starting a story, a play, a novel, and we want to describe the scene, we use past progressive. For example, there were a lot of people at the station. Some were talking on their mobiles, others were sleeping, and a few were walking up and down. So now he is giving you the background scene of the situation. Also, we can use past progressive to describe temporary for actions that didn't continue or didn't last for a long time, past states or actions. For example, my grandfather was writing a play in those days. So here the main keyword is in those days. Also, we can use past progressive for describing repetitive or annoying actions. If we are annoyed by actions in the past or repeated actions in the past. Of course, with adverbs of frequency, always, continually, forever. My brother was always taking my toys when we were young. So here, this is an annoying action. We are annoyed. We are upset by this action. So my brother was always taking my toys when we were young. Also, to describe an action in progress in the past that was interrupted by another action. As we said, if we have two actions, one interrupted the other, a long action that was interrupted by a short one, the long action should be put in the past progressive, but the short one should be in the past simple. Then slide number 7. Also, we can use past progressive to describe unfulfilled hopes and expectations. If we expected something in the past and it didn't happen, we use past progressive. He was hoping to be accepted, but in fact he wasn't. Also, to describe past arrangement. If we had arranged to do something, but it happened or without happening, we can use past progressive. I was meeting Beth at 6, so I didn't have time to waste. Again, here we have the exact time and past arrangement. Also, we can use past progressive to express something politely. So if we are using polite behavior, I was wondering if you would like to join us. So here we can use past progressive for expressing something politely. Then slide number 8, the relationship between past simple and past progressive. As we said, whenever we have a long action, we use the past progressive. Whenever we have a short one that interrupted the long action, we use the past simple. We can use past simple and past progressive with time clauses like when, while, as, and as soon as. We use the past progressive and the past simple in the same sentence. When one action interrupted another in the past, we use the past progressive for the longer action and the past simple for the shorter action. In this case, we usually use while, when, or as. So as, while, when, we can use any of them. They were walking in the forest, they saw a bear. Another example, I was having a bath when the lights went out. Then the last slide, slide number 9. We commonly use as soon as with the past simple. So if we have two actions that happened one after the other without any time, without any mentioning of time, as soon as we arrived on the island, we ran to the beach. So something happened and proceeded quickly by the other one. Thanks for listening and bye.